Hello? Mrs Wearmouth. Long time no speak. Yeah? Yeah, I did move house and get a new phone number. And didn't tell you. That's right. How? I mean, out of interest, Mrs Wearmouth, how did you get this number? From Home Football Club. Why are you talking to Home Football Club? Oh, what have you done? Oh, I'm trying to enjoy my retirement. This is the last time. You are never using that on me again. Hello and welcome to a new Football Manager series back at home, apparently. This one has come a little bit out of nowhere, and it's all thanks to Mrs Wearmouth. If you don't know who Mrs Wearmouth is the former owner of Apollon Smyrnis in Greece, who we managed back on FM20. She bought a Greek football club. She does a mean spaghetti bolognese. She used her spaghetti bolognese money to buy a Greek football club and throw loads of money at a youth academy that never really worked out. We produced like 3 players in 15 seasons there. We did win the Champions League though, so that was all good. But she's come back to England and bought Holme. Holme are the club that her husband Mark formerly played for back on FM19. If you don't know who Holme FC are, there's an FM19 series that you can check out. But they are the lowest football club in England, as in the football club itself is below sea level. And Mrs Wearmouth has bought Holme Football Club, apparently. Here's me thinking I owned it and would have some say in who bought it, but apparently not. Mrs Wearmouth has bought the club, bought the rights, bought everything, and also brought her fancy pants youth academy over from Apollon, and she wants a do-over. She wants to actually do proper youth development. So she's bought Holme, she's installed me as manager, and I'm gonna have to do a proper youth academy save because she's insisting on it. She's nothing if not a persuasive woman. So I guess without any further messing about, we need to get into Football Manager and get stuck in to Homegrown, which, as you can see, does involve some fancy new kits. These are designed by Request a Kit, as they have been every year previously. This is now our 3rd generation of Holme FC kits. You'll be able to have a look at the away kit and the 3rd choice kit when we get onto the main screen as well. And as ever, the database has been created by the FM editor. So big thank you to Request a Kit, big thank you to the FM editor for making it possible for me to do this save and for doing it with such an incredibly quick turnaround over the Christmas holidays. It is much appreciated. Thank you very much, guys, because otherwise this save just wouldn't be happening. I can't do kits like this and I can't make databases. But as you can see, we are the newly appointed manager of Holme FC. If you also want to be the newly appointed manager of Holme FC, you can. The database and all the bits that you need to get it up and running are linked down in the description below as well. So you can also play along in your save, and make sure you let me know down in the comments how you're getting on in your version of Holme FC. And if you're excited for the new save, make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on the video. We set a 5,000 like target for the first episode of Non-League to Legend. Show me that you love Holme just as much as you love Non-League to Legend. Let's hit the 5,000 like target again, and that would be absolutely incredible. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on. We do daily Football Manager videos here, and you're going to be getting Holme at 11 AM every day, Non-League to Legend at 4 PM every day, plus regular streams over on Twitch at twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. There's content coming out of my ears, so make sure you subscribe and get on board with all of that. But this is it. We are up and running. We are go again with Holme FC. And as you can see here, Holme have confirmed the appointment of Kevin Chapman as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised, all right, at the appointment of the 37-year-old who's recently spent time away from club football and is sure to face plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at Homewood. Chapman's put pen to paper on a 1-year deal worth £650 per week. Some guy called Bobby Wilkinson was the favourite, but I got the job. In your face, Bobby Wilkinson. Let's hit next. and we can have a look at the setup of the club. Now, we have kind of reset as if the FM19 version of Home never happened, because it wouldn't be that much fun starting the save already as Champions League winners. So we are back down in Tier 8 where we started last time. This time around, we're in the Southern League Division 1 Central, because there's been a big shake-up of how the leagues work in the last couple of years, and that seems to be the one where most of our rival teams are, and most of the teams in our geographical area are. So we have been set up still at Homewood with the capacity of 636, which is the number of people who live in the village of Home in Cambridgeshire. So they could all come along and get involved. But this is the big thing that is different for this save. Mrs Wearmouth has thrown cash at the club, not for me to buy players, not to sugar daddy our way up the league, or sugar mummy, I guess, our way up the league. But she has really invested in the youth setup, the youth academy, and basically brought the exact settings for that from Apollon over to Home, but scaling them down slightly because of the fact that we're starting in Tier 8 rather than the Greek Tier 2. So it's got the potential to end up as good as the Apollon Youth Academy. It doesn't start that good, because that would be insane, but it starts pretty good. I mean, if you compare our youth setup to the youth setups of other teams below championship level in England, it's probably one of the best youth setups and training setups, going up to maybe League One level. It's a pretty solid setup. For us to push it beyond that, we are going to require further investment. She's also appointed hubby this time as assistant manager. Mark Wearmouth is here as my assistant manager, the former Home left back who left us to go and play for AEK Athens, AEK Athens, which is one of the reasons why Mrs Wearmouth ended up in Greece and why the Apollon story started. And he's come back to England. He's come back home to basically keep an eye on me and report back to Mrs Wearmouth what I'm getting up to and making sure I'm following her key rules that she's putting in place for the save, which I'm sure we'll see when we get to the Club Vision page in a second. You can see I've been messing around with Zealand's face pack. I'm going to do this properly in a second, because this is a new save, and these won't be the faces that you see in a minute. We'll redo the faces. It's because I've done about 5 versions of the test save, so that's why some of them have got a face and some haven't. Ignore the faces. We'll get back to them and meet the players in a second once I've reapplied the Zealand face pack, which I guess I'm going to have to link to Zealand down below as well, which is troubling. But these are the big rules that we must stick to, the required rules of the save. We half-heartedly did a Youth Academy challenge with Apollon. We are wholeheartedly doing one here at Home. The 2 required parts of Club Vision that Mrs Wearmouth is going to be checking up on, making sure I follow, is that I develop players using the club's youth system, which is fair enough. But also, I'm not allowed to sign players over the age of 18. So, to translate that into normal talk outside of Football Manager Club Vision talk, I'm not allowed to sign any players, basically. The only players I can sign are 18s and under. The save is called Homegrown, and the idea is the only players that we can have playing for us are players who are homegrown at club, whether they're initially homegrown at club because they've come through our youth system, or we've signed them young enough for them to become homegrown at club. So what that means is there'll be no signing loads of loan players, because they're not going to become homegrown at club unless we get them like at under 18 and keep them for 3 years. But it's pretty unlikely. I think you're not going to see anything in the way of loan players in the club. We're not going to be able to go and sign superstars when we get further into the save. We're not going to be able to sign 19-year-olds who look really good. It is going to be a case of relying on the players that come through our youth system and bringing in players to that youth system who are under 18, who then also become homegrown at club. I'm doing it because these are the big things that people have been asking to see on saves. You want to see me relying less on transfers. You want to see me relying less on loans. And I think a few people were a little bit disappointed we didn't do proper youth development with Apollon. And we've got to this time. We've got to do youth development, because if we don't do youth development, we're not going to have any players. There still will be transfers. There'll still be transfer specials. They'll just all be teenagers, and they won't necessarily go straight into the first team. They might have to be dumped into the home development system for a little while we get them ready for the first team. So the team is going to start pretty young, and it's just going to be a conveyor belt of young talent that we're then presumably going to have to sell to reinvest back into the youth system so that we can continue this gravy train rolling when we get to the Premier League. Because if we're going to win the Premier League, win the Champions League in this save, and do it only with homegrown players, we're going to have to upgrade that youth system to the absolute max at some point for us to have any chance of being competitive further on. So I think it's a nice little twist to the save that's going to make it significantly different to home last time, different to Apollon last time, and different to anything I've really tried to do on YouTube before. It is all about youth development. And luckily, they're only looking for a mid-table finish in this first season, because I think even that's probably going to be a little bit of a challenge. Right, I'm going to save the game, reapply the Zealand face pack, and then we're going to go and meet the players. What do you mean you've got one more little twist? You're not going to let me sign any players during the first transfer window. So whatever's here when I turn up, we've got to make do with that, have we? Until when? Brilliant. Brilliant. This is going to be fun. So with that little bombshell that we've got first window transfers turned off as well, should we go and meet the team? Because we're going to have to get to know them pretty well. So many of you have been saying, Kev, FM21's a bit easy, isn't it? If this save is easy, I give up. So this is the squad. There's a lot of them, isn't there? I think we've got some under 23s and some under 18s as well. See, you can tell I've done a few test files. So these are our boys. We have a squad of 33 players when you include the under 18s and all of them as well. I mean, obviously, some of these are not close to ever being good enough for us. I mean, Ben Watson, as much as I value the fact that you've got stubble at 16 years old, Ben Watson, you don't even have any real stars on your current ability and you're never going to be any good. So we are going to be a little bit limited, but we have got some decent players here who are attracting attention from some decent sized clubs. I mean, we saw with Holme a couple of years ago, Levi Potton was the big example of you get the odd player here at the start because it's completely... He called Danny Daniel. That is amazing. Oh, hero of the save already, Danny Daniel. I love him. I want a Danny Daniel shirt. We haven't even got shirts ready to buy yet, but I already want a Danny Daniel shirt. Oh, series legend immediately. But you do get, because it's a newly generated club full of newly generated players, it does kind of generate players across the whole range. So you get a load of dross, but you do get a few who are probably going to be playing league football by the end of the season and we won't hold on to very long. They're all on non-contracts. So we've got no way of stopping them leaving. Other, I guess, than the fact that Mrs Wearmouth has turned off first window transfers. So we're going to have them for a little while. But the only way we're going to be able to replace those 5 or 6 who are probably going to leave straight away when they do go is by promoting these younger players or finding under 18s to bring into the squad in the meantime. Otherwise, we're going to likely be making do for the majority of the season with players probably from Kenny through down, although I am going to throw everything I can at Danny Daniel to try and keep him at the club forever. Who wants Danny Daniel? See, they can all get lost. They can all go away. So, looks like our best players, we've got Yves Kalala, who's an attacking midfielder. Not ideal for us at this level. I mean, he's good. We don't really need attacking midfielders. So we've got Jack McCarran, who's a left winger. But we've also got Sam Dunk, who's a left winger. So 2 of our best players play in the same position. That's handy. Connor O'Brien is a centre-back, 26-year-old centre-back. And then, of course, Danny Daniel, our best striker, is Henry Barton, who's 22 years old and fancies himself as something of a poacher. Unfortunately, not very quick, which isn't really ideal for the FM21 meta if we want to get super fancy. Have we got any 16-year-olds with the potential to do a Mick Powell? So we're looking for 16-year-olds with 5-star potential who we're going to keep an eye on. Darren Gallagher is certainly one of those. Keep an eye on that name. Northern Irish striker with 5-star potential. We've got yet another left winger, Sammy Vertinen. Where are you from, Sammy? You've got Finnish. You're born in Peterborough, but Finnish as a second nationality. I was going to say it's not a traditional Peterborough name, Sammy Vertinen. So keep an eye on him. Another left midfielder, John van der Laan, who, if he's 16, I mean, we want to be checking his driving license. What do you mean you've not got? I've not got one. I'm 16, John. Show me your driving license. Come on now, you're not fooling anybody. We've got four of our better players are left wingers, then we've got some centre backs in there as well. I mean, this is all leaning towards me playing a special K and just playing completely down the left-hand side. My famous formation from the Nuneaton save a few years ago. Oh no, we don't want to set up tactics yet. Well, how do I... There you go. Let's get this back down to our first team. So if these are our first team players, and this is what we've got to build a team out of. So with no transfers to be done, I think we just need to select a tactic, assemble something. I've just accepted that. Yeah, that's fine. I won't sign any players. I guess we can set some scouting up to try and get some youngsters in. Let's see if I can assemble these into a team. So doing a basic 4-4-2, which I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do, but I'm really looking at the fact that some of these wide players want to play a little bit deeper. Danny Daniel, although he can play further forward, Dunk actually wants to be... I mean, we could potentially push those two forward. Do I know the buttons? Why is it not letting me move my player? There you go. That was weird. The only problem is Kalala wants to play up there as well. He's only competent in central midfield. So, I don't know, maybe we do lean towards something like that, which, I mean, it's all we ever do. Let's just have a look at this again. It gets the best out of Kalala. So, the issue we're going to have, the big issue, is at left back. Tom Bachelor Expiteta is our best left back, and he's only got 1.5 star current abilities. So maybe, I mean, what on earth can we do that has that 3 and no left back? We've got all these left wingers. Some of these left wingers have to learn to play left back. It's as simple as that. We want you to be a box-to-box midfielder. Oh my word, you're not any good, are you? We only got 2 good central midfielders, and one of them's Kalala. There's going to be... Oh, my word. Oh, my word. There's going to be some interesting... I don't know. I don't know what formation we're going to play. I need to have a proper fiddle around with that, and might actually have to do some of my own friendlies for once and figure out what we're going to do. And I have no idea what we're going to be playing when we play our first game of the season against Aylesbury United, which will be in tomorrow's episode once I've figured out how to assemble a team from this bunch of players. But there we have it, folks, for an episode 1 for a new series, which I've got a feeling is going to be a long one. Like I say, if you want to play along, all the files to be able to download and set it up are down in the description below. I'm not going to explain how to set it up. If you want to know how to set up a custom database, just give it a little Google. There's plenty of videos out there to show you how to set up a custom database. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, everything you need to be able to do it is down in that file that you can download. So let me know down in the comments how you get on with your save. Obviously, when you load up your version of Home, it's going to be completely different players to mine. It does generate new players when you start a new save. Make sure you have that add players to non-playable teams thing ticked, and it will just generate a squad of players for you to play with. Let me know if you've got any superstars in yours, if you've got anyone with a name as good as Danny Daniel. And yeah, just get involved. Let me know in the comments. Send me screenshots on Twitter, whatever you want to do. Let's see who can win the Champions League first, following Mrs Wearmouth's rules. I don't want to see anybody spending loads of money. There's no money to spend. I mean, that's what we've got in the bank. We're not exactly flush with cash, are we? So it'll be fine. But anyway, if you have enjoyed that video and if you're excited for a new series with Home, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.